Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to check out another brand new Artic Figures release, and this is something that I know many people are very excited about. As you can see, we have Spear and Fang. We've got ourselves the Primal figures from Artic Figures, and this is something that, again, a lot of people, including myself, are very excited about because this is a very cool series with a very large fan base, and there are just no toys or anything really to go with it. So Artic Figures stepping up to give us something super cool, and he actually has permission from the filmmakers to create these, which makes it twice as cool. But as you can see, we've got ourselves a really nice looking Tyrannosaurus, aka Fang, and then we've also got ourselves our little caveman over here, which would be Spear, and you can see they look absolutely incredible here at first glance, but the only way to truly tell how incredible they are is with a closer look, so let's jump to it right now. So we will begin here by taking a look at Fang, and you can see, again, it looks really good. Again, definitely sculpted this out to look exactly as it looks in the film, in the show. I think he's done a great job on the overall screen accuracy. And another thing that's really cool that you might take notice to immediately is the fact that he actually has printed this out in the coloration that is pretty reminiscent of what the dinosaur is in the show, which that's kind of like an attempt to make it a little easier for you to paint it up yourself, because then you really only need to put, basically like the striping that runs through the course of the T-Rex onto your Rex, and that definitely, again, helps anybody that's interested in ordering these, because you don't have to, go find the colors themselves or anything like that. Or at least you don't have to find the primary body color. But you can see here, when we take a look from the front-facing view, you've got a nice shot there of the Rex looking at us. You can see the nostrils. We have an articulated jaw, of course, and you can see it works really nicely. You've got a nice shot there of the teeth there on the inside of the mouth of our Tyrannosaurus, of Fang, of course, including that extra large fang that we have over here on the side of the mouth. And then you can see we've got the tongue and everything sculpted out on the inside of the mouth. We'll get a better look at it, of course, once we add a little paintwork to it, but you can see the inside of the mouth on the upper side also looks really nice, really highly detailed. You've got the eyes sculpted out there as you move along. You start to pick up quite a few areas of articulation as you lead back into the neck, and honestly, this might be some of the smoothest articulation that I've seen from Artic Figures. You can see it works really nicely as we've got a joint here, a joint here, and a joint here to articulate the dinosaur around to any position you could pretty much want, and it works really beautifully. But as you continue to move along, you'll see very fine detail to the Rex that I don't know how good it's going to really pick up on camera right now, but something I'm going to try to bring out when I paint it, or at least I'll attempt to. But you can see, again, like some structure there in the neck, kind of like some skin folds and stuff. As you move down, you can see the arm looks really nice muscle definition in the arm. The fingers also look really quite nicely sculpted, as do the nails, and the arms also articulate. You can move them forward, and you can also, move them back and then out away from the body as well. As you move up here to the top of the Rex, you can again see some nice looking detailing. I don't know how good it's picking up on camera, but it looks really nice here in person. You've also got, again, this area of articulation in the midsection, which allows you to, again, further give you so much possibility as far as posing your Rex. As you move back here, you can see the hip bone and everything. You can also take notice to the muscle definition, but he's not like overly defined it. He's sculpted it out in a way where it looks pretty much exactly as it looks in the show, which I really like. As you move down the course of the leg, again, you've got an area of articulation above and below the knee, which helps to add some nice mobility in that area. And then two more joints as you move down, and these joints can swivel, and then, of course, move forward and back, giving you some nice posability in that area as well. Really nice looking foot sculpt down here, nice scoots running down the toes, nicely sculpted nails. Everything looks great on both feet. And then as you lead up here, you again have the tail of our Tyrannosaurus. You can see you got 1, 2, 3, 4 areas of articulation as you move out. And again, it all works really nicely, really smoothly. Definitely some incredibly smooth articulation for sure. You're really not going to see a whole lot of difference when you look at it from the opposing side, except for the fact that, again, the fang isn't over here because that's from the initial side of the Rex. But that looks awesome. Can't wait to get that painted up. And then, of course, we also have Spear, and you can see, again, he also looks great, but I feel like we're really not going to see just how good he looks because of the fact that he's unpainted currently. But you can see that Artic Figures also has released this one here in, like, the, tone of skin tone, so that it should help to make it a little easier to paint as well. And you can see that we've got that classic look on his face there. Again, I don't know how good it's showing up on camera, but it looks really good here in person. You can see his hair sculpted out and everything. Even the chest hair is sculpted out, which is something that, again, you obviously see on Spear in the show. And you can also see the muscle definition as you move down, nice pecs and everything, and abs as you move down, very nicely sculpted out. You can see his outfit as well is really well done, again showing off wrinkles and stuff in his clothing, exactly as you would see. Again, very nice muscle definition. The exaggerated proportions and everything of him are sculpted out and captured perfectly by Artic Figures. Both hands are in the position of a fist, and that's because he comes with his spear, which you can see here, and then you can just slide that in there, and then he holds it very nicely. So that, gives you even more potential poses and displays that you can do with him. As you move down, you can see the feet are sculpted. We have a lot of articulation in Spear as well. Let's put the spear down for a moment, and again, you can see you've got the articulation here in the shoulder as well as the elbow. So some nice articulation there. You've also got midsection articulation right there. And then you've got leg articulation in the hip and knee. So definitely some fun articulation in Spear as well. And you can see the back of him looks really nice. Again, you can get a better look at the hair and everything. So really hyped to get some paint work on these guys. Actually really excited for this. So let's get some paint work on them and then we'll check them out here in a moment. So here is my painted and finished Fang, and it definitely looks pretty cool. I am actually really quite happy with it, though I will say, and I'll be the first to admit, that I think my striping needs to be a little bit darker to really match up perfectly to the way Fang looks in the show. But again, I think it turned out pretty nice. Something I'll probably do at some point. Didn't really want to mess with it right now. I just wanted to kind of show it off to you guys because I used the darkest variation of this color that I had in my paint collection to really, get that striping down. And I also added kind of like some slight color variation and stuff to it, even though you don't really see that in the show. I wanted to try to add, a little bit of realism to it, to make it at least a little bit more realistic, because I always like to paint my figures in more of a lifelike, realistic way rather than kind of like an action figure way, or in this instance, kind of like an animated way. But again, like I said, definitely happy with it. For the most part, I feel like it turned out pretty nicely. And of course, the sculpt is as screen accurate as you're ever going to find, which, this is the only one I've ever seen when it comes to a Primal figure. So you don't really have a whole lot to choose from, I guess. But even if more are created in the future, I really don't see them touching the accuracy that is on this one, because this one is absolutely incredible. And, of course, you now have the ability to create all kinds of different poses, different dioramas and stuff. Whatever you choose to do, you can do with these Artic Figures releases, because they're just so beautifully articulated. Again, they just work so nicely when it comes to how smooth the articulation is. But really, again, psyched to actually have this done. I was a little intimidated trying to get this one, even though it seems like it would be pretty basic as far as the coloration goes. I was a little intimidated trying to paint it where it looks more lifelike, but at the same time, it looks like it does in the show. So hopefully it turned out pretty decent. And then I, of course, also painted this spear, and I tried to paint the spear as similar as you see to the show, and I also added a little bit of blood there on the tip of the spear, because I feel like that's just the way you should go when it comes to the spear. It just feels like that's the right way to go. And then when it comes to Spear himself, I again did the same thing basically that I did with Fang, where I tried to kind of give him a little bit more realistic coloration. And, I added like a dark wash to him, like a brownish wash, to sort of give him that dirty look, considering he is a caveman. He's going to be kind of dirty, and I added a little extra color to his hair, as I added kind of like browns and blacks and stuff within the hair. Same deal as far as the clothing and everything that he wears. And I just really tried to add some realism to him to make him look a little bit more lifelike, because that's just what I like to see. I'd love to see like a live action version of Primal. I think that would be incredible. But again, he absolutely rocks. Like, this figure, both this and Fang are fantastic. If you are a fan of the Primal series, you definitely need to get these in your hands, in your collection, because they are both incredible when it comes to the sculpt, and now that I have them painted, they just look even better in my opinion, and hopefully, again, my paintwork turned out pretty decent. You'll have to let me know in the comment section what you guys think of it, but I'm pretty happy with it overall. Now, also included in this set was actually a really nice articulated stand. You can see you could like maneuver it and stuff. It was beautiful, but unfortunately, the postal workers of my local post office, or somewhere between, Artic Figures and myself, decided to play soccer with my package and broke the stand. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to acquire another one of those because it did look really nice, but I'm using a PNSO stand currently for Fang. But as far as a size goes for these figures, actually I just knocked him over because I banged the table, but let's go ahead and check out just Fang straight away as far as a size goes. So for a length, a little over 9 inches, maybe approaching 9 1/4, but not quite there, or about 23.5 centimeters. And then for a height, in the position that Fang is in currently, because again, you can alter the position of Fang, you are looking at just a hair under 3 3/4 inches, or again, a little hair under 9.5 centimeters. And then for Spear, you are looking at about 2.5 inches or 6.5 centimeters in height as I smack my lamp over here. But again, they are definitely really nicely sized with each other, pretty much I would say perfectly sized with each other. But for a size comparison to further give you an idea of the size, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Primal figures from Artic Figures, and you can definitely see that they are obviously quite a bit smaller. So they're not huge. Obviously, Spear is quite small. Standing next to Muldoon, you can see he's only around hip height, and Fang as well is obviously small in comparison to Mr. Papo T-Rex, but I think they're honestly like a perfect size for figures like this. They really are very, very nicely sized, where they're not going to take up too much room, but they're also not too small or anything like that. So definitely a big fan of the size that Artic Figures had chosen for these. And then for another size comparison, we're just going to go with a few randoms because we really don't have any other figures similar to this, so like I really don't know what would be good to pose with it. But you can see again we've got the Collect Day Deluxe Dimetrodon, the Safari LTDU Tyrannus, and Schleich Dialbaceratops next to our Primal figures for yet another comparison. We also have a Mattel Velociraptor standing here face to face with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, again our Fang figure, but you can get a pretty good idea I think of a size next to that because the Mattel Raptor is a pretty popular figure that I would think most people have had a chance to own at some point or at least see. And for more totally random comparisons, we have the Papoceratosaurus here stepping in for a comparison. We've also got the Terabyte Attack Carnotaurus for yet another comparison. There is the How Long Good Ouranosaurus. Again, we are not basing these comparisons off of anything other than totally random choices, hoping that you might have at least one of these. There is also the Adventure Force Atrociraptor stepping in here for another comparison. And finally, the smaller Mojo Fun Tyrannosaurus Rex, which you can see is a bit smaller than our Fang figure, but it's another figure that hopefully you might have potentially in your collection that would help to give you an idea, again, of the size of these Primal releases. So these brand new Primal figures from Artic Figures are both fantastic. I love just how much difference Artic Figures has in their line. Like, they always release different stuff. You know, we've had Jurassic Park, we've had King Kong, we've had, and by King Kong I mean we had the V-Rex, which is from the King Kong film, the Peter Jackson King Kong film, but we've also had the Carnosaur T-Rex, we've had, real creatures like the Terror Bird and Plesiosaur, and now again we also have Primal, and now he's even into Kaiju. So there's a lot that he is creating, and I'm loving absolutely every minute of it. Such cool stuff coming from Artic Figures, and these as well are fantastic. And I know he has plans of making even more Primal figures in the future, which is really cool. I would love to see more figures coming from them. But you can see again, both of these are as screen accurate as it gets. It feels like he literally just grabbed them straight from the screen and then pulled them out, applied a whole bunch of random articulated joints so that we now have the ability to move them around really nicely, and here they are. I think Spear looks great. He's done a great job of sculpting him out to give him that big buff appearance that he has in this show. He also has sculpted out all the fine detail, not only to look like it does in the film, but also just generally to give it a realistic look, like his hair and everything, and the waviness of his hair, as well as the waviness to his clothing and everything, and the skin texture, the hair on the chest. Everything looks great on Spear, even all the way down to the fact that he has his teeth sculpted out and everything. But really nicely done, and again, lots of articulation on him, including the spear itself is also a really nice touch, which you would of course expect to see. And then we also have Fang, and Fang looks exactly as Fang does in the show. Really nice sculpt, including, you know, enough fine detail that it has a realistic look, but not going too far to give it, you know, a lifelike, super lifelike look. He's sculpted it out so it still looks like the animated version, which I think was a really, really nice touch. And again, when it comes to accuracy, this thing is absolutely on point. And even once you move up into the mouth actually does have some really nice fine detail on the inside. But everything, again, looks gorgeous on this. The articulation is awesome, giving us tons of potential posing and display options for both of these. So really excited about the release of some Primal stuff from Artic Figures. Can't wait to see more come from him. But if you are interested in picking these up for yourself, I will include a link in the description to the Artic Figures website where you can do that, where you can grab these for yourself and enter some awesome Primal figures into your collection. So make sure you check that link, go grab these absolutely epic figures, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.